morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham the third at your service. We're going to talk about this topic very seriously because I think a Norfolk Railway's gone off their radar, right? Right, we all know they can't handle the truth, right? We all understand that. A lot of people can't admit that they are in the wrong, they are probably out of control. The management is out of control because they're losing members, they can't employ anymore because they're losing more and more and more. Why? It's a question in everybody's hearts and soul and mind, right? The North Norfolk Railway has already been chosen to have an heir to take over from me, and I already chose her. Her name is Emily Helen Hatt, but my son Richard is going to do it for 2 years. But what happens if you screwed up that part of that time stream? The North Norfolk Railway would be screwed up, which is probably what's on your mind. Secondly, most importantly, that the North Norfolk Railway will end up dead. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing, right? Because they're the Northwestern Railway Company upside down, right? Which is true, right? But there's two halves to these stories. When you talk about a story, why is it stopped in on season 24? Or why did the book never continue from whatever book number it was, right? We all established that a lot of the stories continue on and on and on and on, and our stories get incorporated into the book and obviously goes into the other department, right? You have to realise, okay, there's an 18 plus story that's in there as well, which is not being going to be told over on the internet. It will have to be face to face contact, and why? A lot of people will go to arm's length to try and solve Daisy's story, but Daisy's story is all muddled up for one reason, right? So that's why it's restricted. But the other us, the rest of us on the Steam team and all the rest of the Diesel team, all play their cards right, right? But they left you with nothing in the end. The Diesel team has left you with nothing, right? When you look at me and you're thinking, oh, is he talking sense? The answer is yes, because you're left with two halves become one. Why? Right, the management are telling you you can't allow me back on the platform. That's bullshit. Why? Because you're living a what the management can't see, they fucked up on. Right? The management will always go in that direction, right? You guys on the platform should realise, oh, it's real life, it's real life, it's real life. We got to get it clicked in our heads. Right? A lot of people that believe that lie saying, oh, the fact controller did this and all his friends and colleagues and connections done this and this and this. We haven't done nothing wrong. We're innocent, right? Right, so am I. But I really have to go down an extra mile to prove everybody that I'm innocent. But how? Right? What's unfolded to you is basically this, right? You basically screwed up everything, right? You don't know how to repair it because there's only one person that can repair this job, is myself. And then number three, on the other hand, you basically got a Steam team that's waiting to kick your ass. Why? Because the Steam team is more powerful than the management. So when the Steam team knows it's all true, but they can't do nothing, nor can I. So what do? We wait till the North Norfolk Railway becomes very vulnerable, if you would like to call it correctly. And then people will ask, why two halves become one? Why? Because you've got Wild Norwester's timeline in it. Right? Right, Wild Norwester is a friend of mine and private connection, right? You're looking at yourselves thinking, why is this story ending up connecting really well? Well, you see, a lot of people around the globe haven't seen the real life version come unfolded, right? The In the day, you got the police that are bubbled. They don't know what to do with themselves. They can't work it out. Why? Because I've given them a code that basically told them, don't come near me because this is all happening all in truth. You can't lie on that. But the thing is, you messed up so bloody badly. The Lynns, the Coopers, the Hatts and the Mansons, the full whack. What happens? Hatts and the Mansons are blood related. That's one set. Then the Hatts married the bloody Coopers. The Coopers married had let's say the Hatts weren't married to the Coopers, but they are in the second generation. Yes, in the first generation, my grandfather married somebody else. Who was it? I'm now going to give you this little extra. Pigott. Now, what's Pigott familiarised to you? Ding, ding, ding. Molly Pigott. Oh shit, it's her sister. Yes, my grandfather, Henry Cooper, married my mother's mother's, my grandmother, basically. And if she saw what you were doing today, she would not be happy with you lot. That's what I'm saying. Logically, you got two halves of the story that's basically true, full period, and you want redemption, right? You want that half, you want these two halves to connect, right? You got to realise, yes, the North Norfolk Railway screwed up. Yes, they got a bigger family against them. Why? The whole Sheringham crime all knew about this. They're not laughing. They're laughing at you. And when you feel like, oh, why are the taxi drivers laughing at you? Why? Because they already read it and they understand what's going on. But then you've got to really put these two halves together to become one. To become one. Why? You're not going to succeed this overnight. That's for starters. Because this is the management of the North Norfolk Railway that screwed you right over and told you, don't let this guy on the premises. Why? They're preventing something from happening or unfolding correctly. So work it out. You got a management that's so bent they don't want to work for the North Norfolk Railway. They want to wipe their asses for you, right? They're not going to come out in public unless there is a special event. So when that special event kicks in like a click, 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 what happens? Oh, yes, indeedy. In every angle, you're going to end up with a problem, right? You screwed up the whole problem and made it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And why? You don't even realise what you're dealing with, do you? You don't even realise what's unfolding, but the rest of the world does know what's unfolding, right? When you look at yourself, realise you screwed up, you fucked up, you screwed up, you kiss your ass on it, you do anything on it, right? You have to acknowledge that what comes out of my mouth is going to be so adultish, and some of the young teenagers and the adults will understand this quite well as well. They understand it's real life. Why are you not letting it unfold, North Norfolk Railway? It's because you're ashamed, knocking out 1,001 people out of their positions, their jobs, everything. Of course, you're gonna you're gonna end up blaming us and not the management. The management is to blame, right? At the time, you know what I mean? You gotta be realistic. I'm innocent. The fleet is innocent. What do you get out of it? A fucking pay raise. You don't want to accept bribe. A bribery is worse than the fucking job itself at the moment, right? When you think about two halves become one, think about it, right? You're supposed to have something that was unfolded to you in direct contact, right? You got me, but now you've got to realise what's fucked up or what's gone wrong. Why did we fuck up and why did we screw up? You listen to people that give you bullshit, except me, of course, and my fleet, obviously, my people that I worked with. They know I was special and gifted and intelligent. Of course, you're going to end up. Why did my grandfather didn't say nothing about this? Because he knew that you were going to boot me out. And he knew about your rudeness, your attitude, your expectations of what you want from the railway and what you want to gain from the railway, you're not going to get it now because you booted out someone powerful, right? I could have gained more respect for being honest. Yes, I give myself credit for that. But at the same time, you disrespected me. You thought I was a normal volunteer. I am no ordinary volunteer at all. I'm your boss. I worked hard to earn that position. And people know I've got a different language that makes me tell the story of Thomas and Friends extendedly. So when you think, oh, what's happened to the third gen or what happened to the fourth gen, from fifth gen, when they're going to go to the fourth and fifth gen, they're going to ask questions like this. For example, why did Richard not come onto the platform? Why did Emily Helen didn't get on the platform? Why? Because the North Norfolk Railway forbids it. Why? Because they're stupid. So why? They keep doing the time loop of what should not be unfolding, but a lot of what I supposed to be is unfolding job. So when you think of two halves become one, what are you gonna do? The North Norfolk Railway won't. They won't. They won't. All they care about in the end of the day, you got the management expense. They're losing their jobs because they can't accept the truth. What's unfolded, right? The people on the platform then will end up saying Crime Wolf was our management, right? I said you're talking to your boss, right? You're listening to your boss. It's better than nothing anyway. And you end up with something that's not even that's running, it's unfolding in the correct way, but I'm claiming my name for God's sake. And a lot of more people's names to be cleared. But there's a lot of things that you have to realise. Why were you all booted out? Why were you all being booted out? Why are you all booted out? The message will come round clearly like a red flag around sharing and running it. And Cromer and West London and East London and Norwich and Lowestoft and Southland and all the others. Oh, did I tell you Southland's getting a new station? Rippy do. But it doesn't repair the damage of the old station, may I add, which we should have. But then it gives a bloody good chance, don't it? Then people ask, why were those stations weren't meant to be touched? Why? My family have a white, rare, very powerful connection, right? We know everything you know, and we know what the government is doing and what the management is doing, like the North Norfolk Road. We know what they're trying to do, right? You're letting something unfold that should not unfold directly, right? Let me give you an example, right? Wild Northwestern's timeline is the one thing that should unfold correctly, right? You're not gonna live in a world of where you want it, the way you need it, the way you want to understand. Two halves become one. How? You're not going to succeed if you're going to keep me banned, right? Because that's against the law, it's against the rules, and the time stream. You are totally screwed. Why? Because you fucked up. And when people fuck up, what do they do? Do they complain about it? Yes, they do. The management already screwed up, and they're leaving the building, and they don't give a toss about they don't care about the employees. That's bye bye. Why? They left you hanging in the dry zone. So what happens when there's two halves become whole? What makes the story so bloody perfect? You got the third gen all on the go, boom, 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 boom. But then you realise the fat controller has to be on the platform. Why? I know things you don't. And if they don't unfold correctly, you fucked up. So, how many of you know you're fucked up but you can't say fuck all about it? Right? You realise you're screwed up. Right? You can't repair the damage. Why is that? I'm not blaming the community on this one. They're laughing at the North Norfolk Railway as we speak. Right? There's going to be a lot of bloody changes in the North Norfolk Railway you don't want to know. Right? Some things are going to bloody turn your world upside down, and the railway won't be the same as the way you're looking at it right now or beforehand, and then people start asking questions. Questions they want answers for. Right? You've discriminated a timeline, right? Which is against the law. That timeline is so at this moment you're losing. Uh, but when you look at it, right, you've got two halves that have to become one, right? You got me. Where's Lady Hatt? Obviously, this is on the agenda list. Then you're obviously wondering why is your father not involved. I said he's out of the picture, right? I had to clear him out, because he wasn't in it to begin with, right? People that don't know what the early years and the modern years entail, they don't even realise what they screwed up, right? The porters and the guards on the platform can't help me right now, right? Because they believe a lie over the other department. The management are falling. They don't give a shit about your wages. They don't give a shit about your lives. All they want to see you is dead and buried. Why? Anyone that goes on the North Norfolk Railway is gonna get bang bang wallop. Why? Because they know certain things that should be unfolding correctly. I know certain engines, right? I know certain people. I know certain predicaments that you're all in. You all want to recorrect this. I understand that. But it's not going to, it's two halves become one. Why? Why did I title it when you know I'm about to tell the truth? Right, the cops should know this quite well. Two halves become one. It's not a riddle, it's a fact. Why? When you were younger, you were listening to these stories, you thought they were children's stories, and they weren't. They were based on real life people, families, connections, colleagues, all of it. Why? And you just throw them all out. Boom, 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 including myself. Big boom. Right? I decided if you beat 1,000 people, you're gonna get a flaming just desserts. Right? I threw a bomb at them and told them, here's your bomb, I don't need it. Right? I blew it up into the North Norfolk Railway in front of their faces and told them I'm their boss. Why? I am the only person that can fix them. I make them understand, make them recorrected, and all of it. And what do you end up with? Just ask yourself a question. It's very simple and very verified. The North Norfolk Railway is not going to help you. They're only just going to discriminate you. They're only going to put you in a bucket. They're going to take you to high horses and high comes, whatever they want to do. Right? All they care about, in the other day, you're going to end up with a bad railway. And it always has been, right? A lot of people do their research as much as I do, and they will end up being caught in the middle of something they shouldn't be in. A lot of you know that responsibility comes in my last podcast. Responsibility takes a lot of toll on everybody, right? The North Norfolk Railway are not just a normal railway, right? A lot of people should realise when they go on that platform, they become a part of something, not just a fucking damn children's story. It's a real life event on top of it. So work it out. If you take the real life event away, you screw up everything else that's in the books. And you'll end up with nothing in the end because then you're believing that, oh, it's just a children's story all your life for the next two generations. I don't need that. I want you to understand you fucked up. The Norfolk Railway did screw up. Right? They're not going to take the blame or the responsibility for it because they always blame their lower ranks. So what do you do with the lower rank? They complain, they moan, they groan, a lot of them fight back, a lot of them try to say, look, stop treating us like we are bloody employees because we know ordinary employees. Right? The volunteers are pissed off and they're getting pissed off and rattled because they end up thinking, what the flaming hell's going on here? So what do? You're going to end up with something that you're going to end up regretting, or something you need, something you want, right? You're going to end up with a big finale in the end and say, look, the fat controller is here. I am here, right? The people that do day out Thomas, they don't know bugger all from left, right, or centre because they can't work it out. So when you've got two halves that become one, what do you think? When I say that, two halves become one. Why? In the layman terms, right? A lot of people know this now because now the adult half of my story is coming to light and it's coming to truth. It's coming to logic and it's coming respectfully. Nobody's done no harm, no injustice. There was just a lot of confusion and delay right in the smack in the middle. Why? Then you're asking that little serious question, right? The Norfolk Railway doesn't give a shit about you. All they care about is the money factor. The management is dropping. Why? Don't apply a job for that because you're going to end up in a fucking sticky situation. Right? So you're going to end up so screwed or bent or useless because you don't know what you're talking about or what you're doing or whatever else, right? A lot of people say, look, get your head in the into thinking mode and intelligent wise and say we can't be on this railway because we've got a real life event going on here. Right? When people think about a real life event, they can't tamper with it because it's a continuation. Right? When you think about continuation, what comes to your mind? Things unfold. Right? It's hard for a lot of people not to fully understand or fully this, fully that, fully getting the drill anyway. And you'll end up with a piece of a puzzle that you need to put back in its place to get everything recorrected, right? The Norfolk Railway is going to be screwed up now because now they screwed up something what should be unfolding correctly. They don't care about what's unfolded, they care about what they got in their pockets, right? I will say, if you're going to work for this railway, grow up and learn that the railway will always be there. It's not going to go nowhere, right? It's just going from Sheringham, Rayborn, Holt, and even Cromer and Norwich if they wanted to, and made an example of it and say, look, the North Norfolk Railway hasn't got their hands tied. They've basically been told something that was a lie, and they passed it on and passed it on and passed it on and passed it on. Do you know what? My mother is getting sick and tired of your attitudes up there. Regardless of the orders that you were given, she's sick of it. She's tired of your attitudes up there. They don't what she knows and what I know personally, right, has to unfold correctly. If that doesn't, you lot are all gonna be paying a lot more than what your money's worth. Right? Oh, it's written in the Sodor church, don't get me wrong. But then you're ending up with one big problem. Don't you wear a hat? It's already investigated all your little shit problem, right? She said, my son is innocent. I'm innocent in the other terms of logic. And say, this isn't, he's innocent from the day he got booted out. He had a falsified flaming letter. That's what she's establishing to you. And you're lying to her saying, no, it isn't, 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 no, it isn't. Why? Why a lot of people think, why? You got a letter that's false, which my mum has already classified it as. The cops can't do nothing about it because they believed it. They rather believe that than my mother's testimony and myself. So there's two against bloody cops and whatever. What happened is the Norfolk Railway will shut down permanently because they couldn't work it out themselves. If they worked it out before I did, or I worked it out myself, and they helped me out and not moan about it and groan about it and help me out in different directions and everything else, what would you do with a load of volunteers and myself and employees at the same time? What do you do? You don't go on blabbing off and say you're booted because of this and this. Why, that's Diesel's handiwork, not my work. I'm totally innocent. A bystander, basically, or whatever you want to call it these days. But reality, you're the one that screwed up. The management believed Diesel's lie. And that's why the station is all fucked up from the inside. So work it out. The management is going bye-bye because they're getting caught out. I knew from the start when you said to me, or the railway had told me, you got allowed on the premises because we were in order to. I said, don't bother, because I'm sweeping all your bloody problems for you and sweeping it all under the carpet and clearing it all out. Right? You're not going to win just because you want this, you want that, you want this, you want that, you want. It's going through A and B and C and D and E F G, and then you end up with something like this. Right? The fourth generation is my son. Then it'd be my granddaughter, number 5. Right? I know that. But do you? No. Why? You thought all of these were all children's stories? No. All the facts are all coming out to light. Right? When you think of every timeline that you're trying to establish and read out, why didn't you notice that Divas Diesel was acting like an immature person? Right? Why did Sydney get it in his head and realise he's innocent? Oh, no, I'm innocent, but not him. Why? Took Diesel's word for it, didn't he? You see, because in a day, when you talk about Sydney or Hugh Harkett's personality, the first thing that comes to your head is that he's gone mentally insane. Why? Because two hearts have to become one. The whole story is in truth. We all here, the steam team, myself, all of us are here. Realistically. Right? So what happens? Then you're gonna ask for the steam team to be on the platform, right? Then all the management will end up being really screwed up and witnessing magic they can't refuse. Why? I can't go on the platform on my own. Why? There's two reasons for that. Number one, I have to have a full steam team on board that will shut the porters and the guards down and the management, and they'd be drop jawed because they'd be fucked up and they would say, I'm out, I'm fucking out. Right? Because they're living what you would call today is a total fuck up at their end. Right? They're not gonna believe what's unfolded, right? But our lives still have to unfold naturally like normal and then bang 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 bang. Right? People are getting pissed off with a lot of complaints that weren't their fault, right? You've got people that got kicked out that had good reputations, which I keep coming back to. Reputations, right? The North Norfolk Railway would not have a good reputation if it wasn't for us. So work backwards. Good reputation, then Then the diesel team came in 2016 and started blabbing off at you lot and telling you, you do this job, you do this job, you do this. While they were stabbing you in the back and I was witnessing it all, what do you think I was holding in my head for? Telling you it's real life. Watch it. Because eventually it will all fold the whole bloody lot and you will end up with nothing. North Norfolk Railway will just be like nothing you can't work with. Because they will punch you backwards, left, right, and centre, telling do this job, 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 and they will weaken you and they will lose you. Why? Because they turn your strengths into your weaknesses. So then what happens? The weaknesses that you got will be useless to them and they will say piss off. Because that's not me. That's not me, but that'd be them. The management will always be the blamers because they think they can blame innocent bystanders, innocent this, innocent that, and then what do? They sit there in the back of their chairs doing all the paperwork and end up saying, we won. I said, no, you fucking haven't. I watched your, let's say I watched the North Norfolk Railway's website, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, and all of it, and they talk a load of bullshit, right? A lot of it is true because I have my contacts, William Marriott, and all the others. Yes, personal and private connections, my ad. I know what's going on that railway, right? You have to get up on your high horses and stop going there for a moment. Let it be cleared out. Let it be a clear deck for them to then moan about. Once they start moaning, then they will ask, why is this railway coming out? Why is this railway shutting down? Why is this railway doing this? Why is this railway doing that? They'll be asking those questions in front of my face, your face, everybody else's face, and realise you are not respecting anyone. You're not doing this for everybody. You're not helping them. You're not getting their. You're not. A lot of people think, right, the railway itself is connected to everybody to a point, but there's only a limitation for every generation. So when you got 12, 12, 12, why? The steam team and the diesel team do not mix. They never have done. And now you're seeing the fence unfold in the way it would. Well, Daisy's story timeline is a bit more complicated, alright? You have to realise she fucked up, right? And I'm going to put it in black and white, right? That was her fuck up, and Andrew Mudden's wife, Devious Diesel's wife, and Devious Diesel, they all played a part in it, all three of them. Why? My mother said, in the longer run, they will lose and you will rise. Why? Just think about it. If you ban me completely away from the railway itself, you'll end up with a disaster that you can't control. And that's the reason why this two halves become one. It's important. So what happens when the two halves can't be merged as one? What happens when you fucked up the time stream? You end up with fucked up grandkids that don't know much. You will have wives, daughters, sons, all of it in one bucket. Why? In the wrong direction. Why? They will ask questions like, let me give you an example that will open your eyes a little bit. This is not a game. Right? Two halves become one. Why? You're not going to win by just saying you're banned. No. If I was in charge, you'd be welcome to be on the platform. Right? If people think I am that rude and selfish, I am not. The rudest people are the ones that you got on the platform now. Why? So just think about it logically and go backwards and forwards and realise you screwed up. Right? The North Norfolk Railway will be screwed up for a long time now. Why? Hazel's having the overhaul. Edward's having the overhaul. Then you've got wine on standby, which you don't bloody damn use. Excuse my language. Then you've got a new engine, number 22, which has been named, but I will not give out the name for. Then you're asking yourself, you got an engine called Hercules. Then work it out. Certain things not getting correctly unfolded. Ask yourself, why is Wild Norvesta's timeline so involved? Ask yourself, you screwed up one to get another, right? You screwed up one thing, right, just to make it everybody's fucking life misery. Excuse my French, but that's how they treat. That's why the Norfolk where they treat the people outside in Sheringham restaurants and Cromer, Norfolk, all of it, everywhere in the UK, like fucking dirt, because they ending up thinking they know it all. I said, don't, you don't. So when the Norfolk Way requires more for people or management or people they need or whatever, they won't get it because look, you screwed up in 2019. Big mistake. Screw up, screw up, screw up. Why? You screwed it up for another 6 years on top. Regardless of the pandemic, which we won't go into, you screwed up even more than what your money's worth. Why? The Norfolk Railway will not give you respect anymore. They care about what is not. They can't work it out in their heads. How do you know that when I'm supposed to be on a platform dealing with all of these problems and tell them it's real life, get on with it? Right? You have to realise you got a real life fat controller that's going to go up to the railway and say, you can't kick me off the promises no more because you can't treat me like dirt. If you treat all my former employees and volunteers like shit, which you have done, what do they believe more of? The 1,000 that got booted, and plus myself makes 1,001, or would they believe the management? And then what they would do, they'd rather believe the flaming people they booted out. Why? Because there's more of us that could beat the management down. So the management that screwed you wide over, you end up with money less in your pocket. You're just doing your job, opening up, doing your job every morning at 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning and finish at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, right? I'll tell you now, this is why it is very delicate timeline and why it's real life. You can't treat real life timeline and disrespect it. You can't disrespect me either. In any angle, sir. That's right, Thomas, in every angle. So work it out. You screwed up, you blame other people, and you take advantage of it. So what happens if it was the other way round? Everybody will get respected and honesty out of me, and I will tell them this is what's happening, this is what's unfolding, blah blah blah. I'm telling you, la 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 la. This is what's got to be acknowledged and understanding and really understand this. No, because you put in a lot of people in there that you should, you cost yourself a lot of damage that I'm not willing to pay out. So I'm innocent. My my 1,000 people that you booted out are innocent as well, and you're ending up with one big problem saying, why? Why is Thomas the Tank Engine book and Wild Northwest's timeline connected? Way serious. Work it out. Season 4 and 5 on top of everything else. Work it all out. I don't discriminate, but the thing is, the management had already done it for you. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, yeah, but when you